And now we come to our fourth problem. This is only the beginning. So with Superman dead, when Justice League happens, we're either gonna have shit where everyone is struggling to beat the bad guy and then Superman shows up to save them all, or Superman's gonna come back without his memories and get tricked into becoming a bad guy until Lois snaps him out of it since she's the king. I wouldn't even complain so much about how predictable they're making this stuff or how stupid the plot and characters are if they weren't trying to be so pretentious. And yes, this movie is pretentious.
Oh, look, let's make our movies titled Batman v Superman instead of using VS. It'll be as if it were a court case or a debate. It is a debate of ideals, after all.
Is it? What ideals? Batman and Superman are both shitty people. They act like the movie is supposed to be some intelligent and insightful commentary on what? What the fuck is the point they're trying to make with Superman? They keep talking about God and comparing Superman to him. Okay, well, Superman isn't God, so maybe you should stop trying to make these comparisons to it? He's a man who has been making nothing but selfish decisions anyway. And how much longer can they keep this shit up? We've had 2 movies full of Christian imagery and allegories about gods and angels, and it doesn't really feel like they're gonna stop. This is supposed to be a movie universe, and I'm already tired of this prattling on and on about shit that doesn't even fucking matter. This isn't like a sci-fi film that goes into the intricacies of artificial intelligence and what could happen. Those kinds of things are still within the realm of possibility.
Well, Genki, I just think that you're limiting your mind on what subject matter superhero movies can approach.
No, I just think that if you're gonna make some deep, meaningful commentary on God, then it should actually be done well and shouldn't come at the sacrifice of a character's traits. People just want to act like this shit is deep so that they can act pretentious and look down on people who want to have a good time. Oh, life is dark? No shit. But the point of superheroes like Superman is to give us a glimmer of light in that darkness. If you don't like that about Superman, then make up a new fucking hero and craft a story around them. But okay, you want to call this mess of a movie intelligent? You go right ahead. But really, where do we go from here? Are we really gonna get more DC movies where the plot is so dense that they can't release all of it and then they give everyone a hacked up mess in theaters? That was one of the theatrical cut's biggest issues. It was chopped to shit and lacked flow. And while we get an extended version that did give a little more structure and explanation to things, it still lacked that much needed flow and solid pacing. After just an hour of so much shit happening and the material being so dreary and dense with commentary, I couldn't believe that they wanted to make it 3 hours.
Okay, Genki, you keep talking about flow, but what the heck does that even mean?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Batman v Superman is a movie that spends most of its time jerking you around from scene to scene without any kind of establishing shots. It's just bam, new place, and then we as the audience are left wondering, okay, where are we now? What's going on? Shit like that shouldn't be at the forefront of your viewer's mind. Now, I don't mean that the viewers should just be mindless and not think, but we shouldn't be sitting there trying to understand a scene change. Let me give you an example from one of my favorite films, The Dark Knight. This is a movie I can just watch over and over and never get tired of it. It's also pretty much the exact same length as Batman v Superman's theatrical cut, but it doesn't feel like it. And this is basically because the movie is cut like one long trailer. There's this constant momentum and music follows us from scene to scene, tying things together. And most importantly, the movie gives us establishing shots. Anyway, let's watch a scene transition from The Dark Knight.
Look, give us the money and we'll talk about making a deal.
Okay, now let's break down what we just saw. Batman snatched up this guy and is making his escape. The next scene is jumping forward in time to the next logical point when Batman has dropped the guy off for questioning, so we know we're back in Gotham. Then we jump forward in time again to a narrow shot of an interrogation room. We know where we are at all times, which keeps us focused on the events unfolding. Batman v Superman doesn't really do this. This is a movie with so many important characters and stories happening simultaneously that it doesn't have time for establishing shots. So the movie tries to soften the blow of a jarring cut with overlaying sound to transition into the next scene. Take this for example.
Yes, sir.
Benefit for the Library of Metropolis. Someone on the committee requested that Clark Kent cover it. Probably some old charity crone who's got a thing for nerds.
Senator. Little bourbon before lunch?
So in this scene, we started with Clark at the Daily Planet and then jumped to someone walking into a room opened by someone else. But we don't really know who these people are because we just see their backs. I guess you could assume that that woman is supposed to be the senator because she's wearing the same outfit from the previous scene, but I mean, how are we supposed to know that's the Asian chick? Oh, okay. Well, there's Lex's voice and he said senator, so I guess this must be his place and that must be the senator. The only things that really tie us to this scene are the door sound and the fact that Morpheus is unwittingly talking about Lex.
Probably some old charity crone who's got a thing for nerds.
The simplest fix here would have just been to utilize the music and give us an exterior shot of the mansion to let us know, oh, hey, mansion. They were just talking about Lex, so this must be his place. He's rich, so yeah, he'd live in a mansion, right? Then cut to this shot. Here, watch.
Yes, sir.
Benefit for the Library of Metropolis. Someone on the committee requested that Clark Kent cover it. Probably some old charity crone who's got a thing for nerds.
Senator. Little bourbon before lunch?
See how much better this scene flows now? Instead of just silence and relying on a sound effect to change from scene to scene, we're now relying on Lex's theme to create tension and highlight the significance of the invitation Clark's just received. The audience is also now prepared for a scene with Lex, so the exterior shot of the mansion connects the dots within their minds. They're not wondering where they are, and even though we don't know who these people are, it doesn't matter anymore because we have enough information to not overanalyze what the fuck is going on. It's just simple stuff like this that can keep you engaged in the movie, and they don't utilize it nearly enough. The movie is just constantly doing this shit, and it's even worse with the extended cut, which is supposed to be how it was meant to be shown. Now, I'm not saying you need to lead into the next scene every time, especially not when your goal is to disorient the viewer or slowly reveal information to them. But if that's not the intention, then you need to give us enough information within that shot to set this up. Let's look at another scene from The Dark Knight.
They run flights into Pyongyang below radar the whole way. Did you think of an alibi?
Oh, yes.
So here we jump from Batman and Alfred talking about his plan to Harvey Dent and Rachel walking up to some place and stopping. Before we even see what they're looking at, we can tell that they're going to a theater based on everything within the shot. And then we slowly start to see the word canceled and then performance. And this isn't even including the build-up to the scene through Alfred's line or the music. Within those precious few seconds, we're never given a chance to question where we are because the information is there and we were prepared for the scene. And look, I'm not saying that every scene in Batman v Superman is a jarring cut, but, well, a lot of it is. The movie just had a bunch of slow scenes slapped together haphazardly. I mean, shit, they even said originally Lex wasn't supposed to show up until later in the movie, but then they thought that seemed weird, so they shoved him in earlier. They had so much crap they were trying to shove into this movie that they had no clue on how to make it flow. And yeah, part of this problem also stems from the writing. The fuck? It's the same guy? What the shit? Oh, right, yeah, right. That's a big difference. Here's an idea. Maybe you shouldn't give the second film in your new universe so much shit to do. This movie had to introduce Batman, Lex, and Wonder Woman, try to characterize Superman, since his own movie couldn't do it, build the world, give Batman and Superman a reason to fight, give Batman and Superman a reason to become friends and introduce us to the rest of the fucking Justice League. There was no reason to do all of that with one movie. Just take your time, make good movies, and entertain people instead of trying to race towards that Avengers money. Look, I want to like this movie. I want to be excited for this cinematic universe. It's supposed to be giving us that which we have wanted for so long. But they fucked it up, and they continue to fuck it up. If you disagree and still love the movie, that's fine. My point has just been to tell you why people dislike these movies. It's not because people were paid off by Marvel, and it's not some big conspiracy by the reviewer industry to attack WB. It's just that these movies are a mess. And I'm not saying people consciously saw all these things that I've pointed out, but their brains did. And they knew there was a reason why they didn't like it, regardless of whether or not they could actually articulate that reason into words.
Well, Genki, based on what they're talking about, the Justice League movie looks much better. And did you see the Wonder Woman trailer? It looks fantastic.
Yeah, they're doing some serious damage control. They claim they're gonna give the Justice League movie a lighter tone based on Batman v Superman reactions, but that's the problem. They think that people didn't like it because it wasn't light and funny like Marvel. They can be serious. They just need to be true to the characters and have a concise story. I mean, just look at the X-Men movies. People love those movies because they're true to the characters and had good stories and character moments. There's very little humor in those movies. So it seems pretty clear to me that they don't get it. Or rather, that Snyder doesn't get it. He does a great job with action scenes, alright? But that's it. He keeps bogging this shit down with rambling and garbage metaphors. If you want to say something, you had damn well better know how to say it. Especially when comics and even fucking cartoons have found better ways to say it.
You think that can hurt me? My skin can withstand a nuclear explosion. My bones are... my... bones.
Superman, that was incredible. What happened? Superman, what happened to that creature? Where did the creature come from? Any comment?
You lobotomized him.
What's your question, Lois?
It's so out of character.
It's about time, if you ask me.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I'm not really raising my hopes, but hey, maybe Batman v Superman was Snyder's last shot. I mean, we had a bunch of big shakeups at WB since Jeff Johns is now in charge of the movie universe instead of him, and it seems like they realize their film execs don't really know shit about comics, so maybe they'll let people who actually make comics for a living make the movies? Maybe there is hope moving forward with the Justice League and beyond, even with Snyder still involved. Look, I don't want DC movies to just be Marvel movies. I just want each of these movies to have their own distinct personalities and tones that accurately reflect the characters. I want to see these characters be what they're supposed to be. Heroes. I want to see those personalities clash in a team-up movie and entertain me with their unique interactions. I want people who understand the characters to be in control of telling those stories. What I don't want is a series of grim, desaturated movies that are obsessed with this "what if Superman was the bad guy" shit.
What if Superman had decided to fly down, rip off the roof of the White House, grab the president right out of the Oval Office? Who would have stopped him?
Oh, son of a bitch.